Did you know Procreate isn't just a drawing app? You can create stunning animations in there too. What's better, you don't need to be a professional to start using it for your projects. Simply watch this video to understand the basics of how to animate in Procreate. Hi, I'm Sarah Malka. I'm a motion graphics designer who started using Procreate for my digital art. When I found out that Procreate had animation capabilities, I was so excited, and I couldn't help but learn everything that I possibly could. Let's jump into Procreate so that you can start using this for your animations. All right, so here's my artwork that I want to animate. I would love to be able to animate the rain falling and maybe adding a little bit of splashes to the bottom of the puddle. But how do I access, and how would you access the animation abilities? Because right now Procreate is just drawing. Well, if you go over to settings and you go into actions, canvas, and then you go to animation assist, go ahead and click that on. You'll see down here your timeline has popped up. And let's go over what appears down here. You have your play, which goes through it all. And this does not look right? Something looks wrong here. Because usually animation, it's very smooth and you can see. Also, why is everything separate? Well, I'm going to get to that. But I first want to finish going over what this is so you can understand and how to fix what's broken. So then we have settings. And if you click on that, you'll see you've got loop, ping-pong, and one-shot. So just to explain what these each mean, loop means that let's say your animation, the animation you're planning is 1 second long. So for our 1 second, your animation is going to play through. And then since you've chosen the loop setting for how to play, your animation will play when you're viewing it, it's going to loop back to the beginning and play in an endless loop after it reaches that 1 second. Ping pong goes back and forth. So let's say you have that 1 second animation again, and you're going to have your 1 second animation play, and then it's going to go backwards through the animation to play. And I will show you over here in this. So you're going to see it very quickly, but you'll see it's going back and forth. And finally, we have one shot. One shot means is that when you press play for that 1 second, it's going to play through and then it's going to stop. Next, you have frames per second. Frames per second means that for every second of time, you're going to have X amount of frames or X amount of drawings if you're new to animating. Every drawing equals a frame. Every frame equals a fraction of a second. Typically, animators will animate on 12 or 24. That means there's 12 drawings per second or 24 drawings per second. You don't usually need more than 24, but some people will animate on less than 12. Well, then you'll get a different, more stylized effect. It's playing around with it to figure out. I'm going to set mine for 12 frames per second because I'm not expecting this to need to be smooth. Then you have onion skin frames. Onion skin is also something that animators in the past used. It was because onion skin shows the previous image so that the animator can use that as a reference to draw the next frame. Because most animation back in ye old days of, the beginning of Disney, you hand drew everything. Okay. So just to give you an example, right now I have onion skin frame set to 1 because it's a personal preference if I'm doing something complicated, and I was working on something complicated before this. But if I was to increase it, now I have 3, so it's going back 3 frames. It's going back all the way to that yellow coat. And if I was to just go over here, you'll see that it's still sort of faded, which is what onion skin opacity is. I'm now on the red umbrella, so you can see the yellow coat is fading and the blue rain is also fading, and you can barely see it. So that's onion skinning. And blend primary frame means that if I was to toggle this on, my umbrella, my red umbrella, which I'm currently on, it ends up being slightly see-through. And finally, we have onion skin colors. When you first open onion skin colors, you're going to be confused because onion skin colors can be blue, red, green, yellow, but Procreate starts it off with it being black. But simply move your color picker around and you'll see on my drawing, there is a change happening here. I'm going to leave it at blue because I like that idea. And it's, you know what, let's actually go with purple because I don't have any purple in my drawing. I think add frame is pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to explain it anyway, just in case you're very new to Procreate, you're very new to animating, because I don't want you to feel left behind at all, because you should be able to start animating as soon as you want to and understand everything. So add frame, you click it and it means that it's going to add a frame. It's going to add a blank slate for you to draw on, so that you can create another drawing for animation. But I can hear you. What if I don't want to create a new drawing? I created this intricate digital art. I don't want to draw anything new. I do have a solution for that, and I'm going to show you in just a moment, okay? You do need to know what these little drawings down here mean and how to control them so that your animation can run smoothly. If you go down here and click on one of them, you're going to have frame options come up. You have hold duration, which means that if you select 3, then for 3 frames, that frame is going to hold so that it stays on screen, and that's the only thing you're seeing. You can also duplicate. So now I have 2 UA umbrellas. I'm going to undo. And you can also undo in animation, same way that you would do in your drawings. And you can also delete a frame. I'm not going to press that because I don't want to delete it. Now, I'm sure you're wondering by this point, something is broken here on my drawing. It used to be all one, and if this is going to happen to my art, why should I bother animating in Procreate? It's going to break my drawing. It's not going to break your drawing, but Procreate views your individual layers as their own frames of animation. So every frame is one of your layers. If you look in my layers, you'll see that I have everything on a different layer, and it's counting every layer as a frame, as a drawing for that animation. There's a very easy way to get around this so you don't have to worry about having to redraw everything on every individual frame. You're going to select everything that you want on your frame and you're going to group it. So now that it's grouped, you can see it all appears on one frame. I did specifically leave my rain out because that's the part that I want to animate. Now that everything is grouped, it's a lot less scary to have to worry about your digital art breaking and you're not going to be able to animate because everything's going to be on different layers, everything's going to be a different frame, and how is it going to look smooth? One thing I will say against Procreate is you need to plan out your animations in advance, what part you want to animate and how you want to animate it, because if you don't have an idea, you'll run into an issue of hitting the maximum amount of layers really quickly, or you'll have so many layers you're not going to be able to find what you want to animate. There is a way around reaching the maximum layers really quickly if you're only animating one part of your drawing. And I'm going to show you this right now. If you go into your group, and since you see it's the first one in my timeline, and that's very important, whatever you want to appear throughout your entire animation, your entire timeline without duplicating and duplicating and duplicating and reaching that maximum layers and then not being able to do anything in Procreate, it has to be the first one in the timeline. So I'm going to click it, and if you'll notice, beforehand we only had frame options for hold duration, duplicate, and delete, and now since it's the first one in the timeline, it has the additional option of setting this frame as the background. That means that it is going to appear on every single frame in the timeline, whether it's actually duplicated into that frame or not. So you can see I have my rain and I've got my little girl, but they're separate. And yet I can still see the little girl throughout the whole animation. Opposite setting your background, let's say you need to have something in the front, but you're animating the background, but the front is staying the same. You're going to tap the last frame in your timeline. In this case, it's my rain because I don't have any others set up yet. And I'm going to set it as the foreground. And then if I was to add frame, it would appear in between the two. I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and I'm going to undo setting this as the foreground because we are going to animate the rain. And this way you can see the animation capabilities of Procreate. I'm going to add a frame, and I'm going to turn my onion skin opacity up so that I can see the rain. You'll see it's purple because remember we set our onion skin frame to purple so that we can see the difference. Now I'm going to select, oh, looks like I lost my colors because of that other project I was working on. So I'll just do color picker. Oh, come on. And I'm just going to start drawing. Since it's rain, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to look like it's flowing. Since we have 2 different strokes, I'm actually going to delete my first frame. Okay, and let's add a third. And I'm going to turn onion skinning down so that I'm not too distracted. Okay. That's how you would draw frame by frame animation, or by drawing without having to duplicate all of your layers again and again and again, and then have to search through all of the group to find the one layer you're searching for. Those are the basics of how to start animating in Procreate. This should leave you feeling confident about starting to animate your own projects. And if there's an animation feature in Procreate that I missed that you want me to cover, just let me know down in the comments below and I'll happily make a video about it.